Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I have a very special guest that I'm very interested to learn more about. His name is Milad Mikael. He is seeking the nomination to be the candidate for the Federal Conservative Party in Mississauga-Erin Mills. We're very privileged to have him tonight, and I'd like to learn more about him. So let me introduce Milad Mikael.
Hi, Richard. It's my pleasure to be with you here tonight and to be with your audience as well. And I'm here to answer all your questions.
We truly appreciate that. Thank you, Milad.
Thank you.
So let us just start with the basics. Why do you think you would be the best candidate to represent the people in Mississauga-Erin Mills for the Federal Conservative Party?
I have many different reasons for that, starting with I have lived in this riding for the last 14 years. So my neighbors, my family, my friends are living around me there. So that's one of the things. Also, I'm honored to be one of the outreach coordinator for our leader, Pierre, on the last leadership. Besides, I was honored to be a candidate of record in Mississauga as well. All this plus working for our Conservative Party for the last 10 years very closely. All these things beside my education, my background, my experience makes me eager to be the right vote for our residents on Mississauga-Erin Mills in Ottawa.
So let me just understand your experience. You were both one of the federal conservative candidates in one of the Mississauga ridings in 2019. So you have that experience.
Yes.
And you were also chosen by Pierre Poilievre's team in his leadership run to be one of his national outreach coordinators in Canada.
Yes, I'm honored to be one of that.
That is a huge honor.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your education. You mentioned your education. What is your educational background?
In fact, I already have the master's degree of business administration. I was aiming to get my PhD at the University of Toronto. Plus, I have two high diplomas for immigration and the bachelor degree of fine arts many years ago.
What sort of business do you do?
I worked for infrastructure for international companies more than 14 years. And also I owned a business, small business here. I'm still owning small business. I worked for immigration as a licensed immigration consultant. So all these things makes me have a lot of experience to understand people, their challenges, their needs, and understanding how to be their vote.
So as a licensed immigration consultant and having that kind of experience, and there's a lot of generational immigration in Mississauga, you probably would understand a lot about the immigration issues of people living in Mississauga, I would assume, and a lot about the immigration issues that Canadians in general are facing. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. Immigration is very important in Canada in general. Immigrants are your neighbors. They are your employers. They are your employees. They are the friends of your kids. So they have a lot of impacts in your life. So it's very important to choose the right people to be around you. Immigration is not a word, it's a life for many people. Understanding the challenges they face, helping them, it's a very important thing.
So you mentioned, because you have lived in the riding for so long, these are your neighbors, these are your friends. I know some of the other candidates may not have lived in even Mississauga, and I think that that's a big concern. But them being your neighbors and friends, what do you feel are some of the main issues that people in Mississauga in general and Mississauga-Erin Mills in particular are facing? What are the big challenges?
We have a lot of challenges. Firstly, the economy, like all people in Canada. You see, the Liberals, they destroyed our economy, and it needs a lot of work to fix it. So I think we have a great leader to do that. He has a big vision for that. And also, I think I can be helpful in that. I want to be one of his team, and I'm eager to do the work as well.
Okay, so economy is one of them, definitely. How do you feel a Pierre Poilievre government can fix the economy for the Canadian people?
He already has plans, and he already told us about it. It's first of all, it's not an option to have gas and oil in your land and still getting that from other countries and pay money for that.
True.
This one of the first thing he aimed to. Also, he has another visions for other things to make our life more affordable for housing, for stopping crimes, for economy, for the budget, for everything. So I'm seeing that he is our hope in this country.
Well, crime is a big issue. I'm glad that you brought that up because I definitely wanted to ask about that. We see in Mississauga an increase in violent crime, an increase in home break ins and robberies, an increase in thefts of cars right off people's driveways. What do you think, what do you recommend would be best solutions to curb the crime? I mean, it's just gone up tremendously.
Crime is not that easy thing because you have to have a plans to stop that. It's not only to double the penalties for, especially for repeated crimes. It's not the right way, or it's not all the way. I mean, it's the right way, but it's not all the way. You have to get people to rehabilitations, and especially our kids who do crimes. There is 13%. It's a very high number.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get them to do sports for education, and also we have to fight poverty to get them avoid the crimes. So we have to pass for that.
Okay. Another thing that I hear, especially regarding the economy, all the time Pierre Polyev is talking about axe the tax. Some people may understand this, some people may not. Can you please explain to us why do we need to axe the tax? What benefit is it?
It's especially the carbon tax. It's like a joke because you are putting burden on shoulders of all Canadians for a global issue. The climate change, it's not your thing, it's not my issue, it's not for individuals. So it should be solved through the United Nations, through the world countries. You don't put a burden in me, don't put that because you're going to stop the investment, you're going to harm the small business, and you're going to harm the people as well with these taxes. Stop the taxes means more business, more investments. When we have more businesses, we have more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
More jobs makes people work, makes crime less.
That's true. And it improves the economy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, there are so many other problems that are being faced in Mississauga. What other problems do you think you would like to personally work on?
I'm keep thinking about the challenges we faced after we got news from the United States about the new tariff for our products, and that keeps me thinking about that. And I'm sure about that we have solutions for that. I think I'm sure about our leader Pierre Polyev and his team. They are thinking about that seriously, and I think he already eager and he has some plans to deal with the United States, and he will do that. But for myself, I'm thinking from my way. Why we depend on one way to sell our products? Why don't create more new markets? Why don't have more global connections to other countries to find other markets for our products? Why put all the eggs in one basket? So that's what I'm thinking about.
Well, tariffs is an excellent point that you brought up. Trump has been, now that there's a new president south of the border, they've been talking about tariffs on Canada. And I personally, I don't see that Justin Trudeau or the Liberal Party are able to solve that problem in a way that doesn't escalate it. It seems to be escalating all the time. Why do you think a Pierre Polyev prime ministership would be a better negotiator with Donald Trump?
He's focusing on Canadians, only on Canadians, not for anything else. We don't have a liberal leader who think about Canadians. He think about him, always thinking about himself and his party, not about our people. So that's the big difference. I think Pierre has the ability to negotiate and to make a good deals with the United States and other countries as well. He's that strong to do it.
So what are your thoughts also on immigration? I know Trudeau has brought in a lot of visa students. Um, there's a lot of plus and minuses with respect to immigration. Do you want to give us some of your thoughts on that?
Immigration, it's programs. We have to find good and perfect programs to accommodate new immigrants. It needs a lot of work on it. It's not an easy thing to talk about in few minutes.
Fair enough. Okay. In the nomination process, my understanding is you are running to be the person on the ballot. So it's not like you're going to necessarily be the candidate right away. You're being challenged by other people that want to be the name on the ballot for the Conservative Party. Can you explain a little bit how that process works?
Now we are on the last step of that. It's there is number of candidates running for the nomination in Mississauga-Erin Mills. So we have to find out who has the right to vote, and I have to reach out to them. I have to talk to them. I have to convince them I am the right person to represent them and to be their vote on Ottawa. And that when it comes from your heart. It comes from your plans to work hard for them. And it's people think and see and feel how you are. So that's be sincere to them, be open to them. They can understand that.
So my understanding is the only ones who are eligible to vote are current federal Conservative members that had signed up before the cutoff and they have an active membership. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And we still, as of yet, have to announce the date for the nomination. But once they announce that date, what is the process?
Yeah, we will try to get everyone. We'll try to get his people to vote for him. So we will make a phone calls. We will knocking doors for them. We send emails to remind them about the place and the time and all this stuff.
But I mean, in order to vote, they have to be a member. Do they have to bring ID with them? Like, what do they need to do?
Okay. So they have to have a photo ID.
Okay.
If they don't have a photo ID, they have to get any photo ID with something, their address on it.
So, like a driver's license, that satisfies the photo, the name, the address.
Yes.
But if they don't have that, then, for example, am I correct to understand a utility bill with their name and address, along with a health card or a passport, some official photo, or a citizenship card, something that has their official photo? Is that correct?
Yes.
So they have to have their photo, their name, and their address either on one or two pieces of identification.
Exactly.
And then they come in person to vote, correct?
Yes.
Once that's been validated, they get a ballot. They get to vote, for example, for you, Milad Mikael.
Yes.
Put their ballot into the box, and then it's counted that night.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, what makes you feel or believe that you are the best candidate to represent those people?
Again, as I said that before, my background, my work, my experience, my study, my living on the riding, all this together makes me eager to do that and makes me more than happy to be the vote of our people in Mississauga-Erin Mills and Ottawa and to represent them there.
And sorry to ask a personal question, but you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a family man, you're a married husband, you have children, you're a family man, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because we want to have someone that has our shared values, that has some life experience under their belt, that that's paid bills, paid a mortgage, struggled with their business. I think this is what a lot of people are looking for. They want someone that understands where they're coming from, and you, having lived in Mississauga-Erin Mills, you definitely understand what your neighbors are feeling and experiencing. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about or bring to the table and explain?
I want to say something to end up that. It's, winning a seat or being in an office, it's not the real winning. You have to have something in your mind. You have to work hard to do something for people that get you to the office. This is the real winning. And that's my last thing I want to say.
I think that's a good point, because people nowadays, we've seen, they get elected, they get a little bit high on their horse, they don't represent the people. They look for their own best interests. So what you're saying is you'd actually work hard for the people. You'd be different than most politicians. You'd work actually hard to earn the vote of the people that live in your riding. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that's a complete description of Milad Mikael, and I definitely wholeheartedly recommend that you vote for him if you are a federal conservative member that is active and on the list. The nomination will be announced by the Federal Conservative Party, and I would strongly recommend that you put Milad Mikael as your first choice and your only choice, because it sure seems to me that he would be your best representative, and he truly understands what are the needs of the community and is ready to make that change that I think all Canadians are looking for. Thank you very much for joining us.